Hey guys, it's Abby, and today's video is titled I Am Second. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the amazing videos in ministry called I Am Second, where celebrities and politicians share their testimonies and just kind of their story on how they came to the Lord and what God has done in their life. And I'm such a huge fan of those videos. I probably watched almost all of them, to be honest, and they're all amazing. If you haven't seen them, I strongly encourage you to check them out. But today I just kind of want to dive more into what it means to be second. And I think one of the best verses to kind of start this off is John 3:30, which says, "He must become greater and greater, and I must become less and less." And nowadays I've found that a lot of times instead of being second to Jesus, we're putting ourselves second more to fear and anxiety, depression, relationships, even careers, and letting those things rule us and letting those things be first in our lives instead of letting Jesus be first in our lives. And I think Jesus himself is one of the greatest examples of putting himself second. When he died for us, he completely denied himself and just completely gave himself to die for us. And so I think that his example is probably one of the greatest that we can go by when it comes to being second to him. And I know in the flesh, according to the world standards, it sounds really weird to put yourself second because, you're told to put yourself first so much, put yourself first and worry about yourself so that you can get the best job or, before you love someone else, put yourself first, and this is really kind of opposite to what the Bible teaches and to kind of Jesus' example of this. So I know in the flesh it sounds weird, but I think when you look at it from a biblical perspective and from a Christ perspective, it definitely makes a lot more sense. And in Matthew 6:33, it says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things will be added unto you." So even in that verse, it says to seek first the kingdom. First worry about God's kingdom, and then God will help you build your own, but his has to be first. And, being second means that you're not first. So it means humbling yourself, and for a lot of us, that's hard, pushing kind of your pride aside and allowing yourself to humble yourself and to be underneath, and so in 1 Peter 5:6, it says, "Humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time." And I think the most important word in this verse probably is, other than humble, under. Humble yourselves under God. God is first. You are second. So you're under him. And like I said, you have to push your pride and your desires aside because according to the world, it's not natural for us to put ourselves second. We're taught to kind of put ourselves and our own needs and our own desires first before we think about others. But in the kingdom of God, that's not the case. We have to humble ourselves under him. And I love that it says that he will exalt you. Once you humble yourself under him and put yourself second, he'll exalt you, physically, spiritually, financially, mentally. He'll exalt you in your career, in your relationships, in your health, in every area of your life. He'll take care of you. He's got you. He can do more than you can ask, think, or imagine, and exceedingly and abundantly more than you can do for yourself in an instant. He can do more for you in an instant than you can do for yourself in a lifetime. And I think that's just so important to remember. And so I kind of want to talk about, what does being second look like? And I think one of the greatest things is that being second means not being as concerned with what people will think of you than what they think of Jesus. You have to share the gospel and, not worry about like, man, well, if I go share the gospel for them, they're going to think I'm weird, or like, what if, my friends don't want to hang out with me anymore because I talk about Jesus, or like, I don't want to go pray for that person, or I don't want to pray in public because what if they think I'm weird, or what if they don't like me after that? But we have to not be concerned about that because that's putting yourself first. That's putting your own pride first, or, that's putting, even your shyness first. You know, if you're shy, if you say, oh, I'm too shy to talk to that person, and believe me, I've been there because I am a shy person, and God is really working with me on that. You know, so I know in some areas it is difficult, but we have to stop worrying about ourselves and, you know, oh, what are they going to think of me, or, you know, uh, just things like that, and just worry about, like, no, what are they going to think of Jesus? How can I share Jesus with them? How can they receive all the amazing things just like I have? You know, and so don't be shy. And I think in Matthew 23:37, it, you know, they were asking Jesus, you know, what's the greatest commandment? If you could pick one, what would be the greatest one? And he says, to love the Lord your God with all your soul and all your mind. So that's already telling you to put God first. And then he says, and the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. So the first is to love the Lord and to live for the Lord, and the second is to love yourself and to love others. So, you know, it just kind of goes again with denying yourself. You know, if you're driving home from work and you know, you're tired, but you see someone on the side of the road that has a flat tire and you know how to change a flat tire, you know, are you going to say, well, I'm too tired, I'm just going to go home? Or are you going to say, you know what, if Jesus was here, he would go help that person, you know? And or, you know, if one of your friends calls you and is crying and saying that they're having a bad day, you know, are you going to say, oh, I'm already in bed watching Netflix and I'm really comfortable? Or are you going to say, no, let me get up and let me go comfort them and let me go be there for them and let me go share Jesus with them, and you share his peace and his joy and his love with them? You know, it's about denying yourself and putting yourself second, even to your neighbor, you know? And I just think that's really important to remember. Another one is, you know, this one, you know, sleeping later or waking up earlier to read the Word and to spend time with God. You know, are you going to put yourself second? Are you going to say, you know what, I'm going to wake up a few minutes earlier tomorrow morning and I'm going to read the Bible? Or, you know what, I'm going to stay up a little longer and I'm going to pray for my friend that I was with earlier. You know, it's just about those little things about denying yourself and putting yourself second that make all the difference and are so pleasing to God. Because I just picture that when you do those things, he's just smiling down upon you and he says, you know, this is my daughter, this is my son, in whom I'm well pleased. You know, so just putting aside your desires to fulfill his, you know, to fulfilling his vision. You know, we're here to fulfill the vision of God, you know, to preach the gospels to the end of the earth, to preach the gospel to the end of the earth, and you know, denying your own desires, you know, making sure that your will is aligned with his, and then you're good. You know, it's just that complete surrender and making sure that you're chasing after God's vision, not your own. You know, it's not how can I exalt myself or how can I be the best at this. It's how can I let God's glory shine and let God's light shine. You know, and I think another verse to be good with that is in Isaiah 64:8. It says, we are the clay and he is the potter. So, you know, it's just about allowing him to mold you and to form you into more and more like him. You know, it's about not being stubborn like concrete or something, and, you know, just letting him mold you into that beautiful pot or vase or whatever it is that you're going to be, that beautiful vessel for the Lord. You know, and just allowing him to mold you and smooth out those rough edges that will make all the difference. And so I just want to challenge you guys to kind of ask yourself, what or who am I second to? You know, is it Jesus, or is it fear, anxiety, depression, you know, work, you know, school, whatever it may be? And I just challenge you to start putting God first and yourself second instead of all those other things, and see how it changes you. And I just want to challenge you in that, and I pray that you will find what it is that you're looking for. And this is just kind of my take on what being second means to me, and what I feel that God means when he says it. And that's all I got for you guys. I pray this blessed you, and I'll see you guys next time. God bless you.